Why, hello there. Yeah. Excuse me. Probably COVID, not COVID. It is your planet. It is my planet. It is our planet. But it's mostly my planet. Good God. Planet Hog coming back at you. COVID edition. No, just kidding. I don't know what this is. Back of my throat has been very dry. Anyway, hello everybody. Welcome back. All right, that should do it. Of course not. There it is. All right. Anyhow, I am back, I think. And man, my throat is there it is. All right. Whew. It is your planet. Let's try this again. It is my planet. It is our planet, but it's mostly my planet. Planet Hog coming back at you. Yeah. So now, man, I would like to say welcome and hello, and I hope everybody's doing well in the dark ages of the Joe Biden presidency. No, but in all seriousness, I am dying. No, in all seriousness, I hope everybody's doing well. And yeah, man, I am actually got a little bit of news for you. Excuse me if I could not die. Got a little bit of news for you. So I'm actually working behind the scenes right now to try to change some things around. Change the format of the show a little bit. So it's something more enjoyable for me because I'm not going to lie to you, the news is just depressing at this point. I don't know how we're supposed to pretend like what took place during the election didn't happen. But I am not one of those people. So the news has become almost untenable as far as my intellectual tolerance is concerned. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to talk to you today about Governor Cuomo and the controversy surrounding him now, as he has been accused, credibly, I'll use their phrases and terminology now, right? Credibly accused. He's been credibly accused of undercounting nursing home deaths by as much as 50%. I'll say this again. The number that we got from him, that number that was already god-awful and terrible and probably should have gotten him arrested, if not altogether fired. Yeah, that number is incorrect. That number is the fudged number. The real number is actually worse. So his accuser would have us believe. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we are on Business Insider on MSN.com, so you know it's real. And the title reads, New York Attorney General accuses Governor Cuomo of undercounting nursing home deaths by as much as 50%. New York Attorney General accused the Cuomo administration of undercounting COVID nursing home deaths. Attorney General Tish James put the undercount at up to 50% in an explosive report. Cuomo endorsed James in her primary campaign back in 2018. That's Andrew Cuomo's going to fight back, but he's not racist. That's what that was. Because Tish James is a black woman. It looks like I'm assuming that's who this is pictured here. So when Cuomo fights back, that little tidbit's in there. So that's his he's not racist pass when he has to start fighting back. Okay. A bombshell report from New York Attorney General Tish James accused Governor Andrew Cuomo's administration of undercounting COVID-19 nursing home deaths by up to 50%. Cuomo wrote a book about his coronavirus response and won an International Emmy Award for his daily briefings, touted his self-proclaimed just the facts approach to the pandemic in an ongoing victory lap. Since getting hit hard by the virus in March and April, New York has recorded more than 42,000 fatalities as of January 28th. New York's nursing home deaths have been the subject of outside scrutiny for months. An Associated Press investigation published in May found that the Cuomo administration ordered more than 4,300 recovering COVID patients to be sent back into nursing homes, despite concerns over whether some of those patients were still contagious. And as we know, they all were. In the James report released Thursday, oh, God. In the James report released Thursday, the New York Department of Health, DOH, is essentially accused of juking the stats by omitting nursing home patients who died from the coronavirus while in the hospital. That's kind of an important little tidbit for COVID deaths, but okay. Preliminary data obtained by the OAG, Office of the Attorney General, I'm assuming, suggests that many nursing home residents died from COVID-19 in hospitals after being transferred from their nursing homes, which is not reflected in DOH's published total nursing home death data. The AG's office wrote in a summary of the report. And here we have a couple of tweets. The Attorney General's findings directly contradict a report released by the Cuomo administration in July, which refuted claims that the governor's order for COVID patients to be transferred to nursing homes did not contribute to deaths because they were, quote, no longer contagious when admitted and therefore not a source of infection, end quote. Governor Cuomo's office did not immediately respond to the insider's request for comment. Back in 2018, Cuomo endorsed James in her contested Democratic primary in the AG race. The Cuomo endorsement led to a consolidation of support behind James, who edged out progressive challenger Zephyr Teachout, that is a real person's name, in the primary before going on to win in the general election. And they just drive that home for you one last time. So remember, guys, he's not racist. All right. Well, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's what we got for you today. What do you think about that, Andrew Cuomo? No, I'm just kidding. We're just getting started here. You know what's funny to me about all of this, and nothing is funny in the sense of humor, ha ha ha. Funny is in the sense of odd. To me, about all of this is I can almost hear the faint voices of people. I can't remember if there's a classification for them, if they all kind of voted for a particular guy. But I do remember hearing a mass of voices saying that what Andrew Cuomo is doing is killing people. I remember that. It's faint. It was back in 2020. But in all seriousness, I will say this. It is amusing to watch the machine turn on itself. It's amusing. Right, Donald Trump is gone, so now we can go after all those things that we let slide when we were trying to get Orange Man out. Andrew Cuomo, you're on the chopping block. Joe Biden's probably on the chopping block as well. So it is amusing to watch the machine turn on itself. And for them to use their color-coded, editorialized, opinionated journalistic reporting style on themselves. But in this instance, I would say it is 100% warranted. Was warranted a long time ago, but we had to put all of that aside because Orange Man. But anyway, better late than never, I suppose. Yeah, Andrew Cuomo was being praised for what he did in New York. See, it's not so much that you fucked up and, you took your lumps and we moved on. This guy, 42,000 fatalities. More than that. And he's writing a book, patting himself on the back, when his solution, the solution of sending sick people to live with unsick people, I think most 8-year-olds, I would say if you had a panel of 8-year-olds, 10 8-year-olds, I'd say at least 6 of them would say that's a bad idea. And somehow this man, not only does he not get arrested, he was considered for a position in Joe Biden's administration. He won an International Emmy Award for his just for his daily briefings, just for him telling people, yeah, I'm fucking shit up. People are dying, but fuck it. Not to mention the ego on this guy. There was one particular instance I saw where he was exchanging with the journalist and he was just kind of laid back in his chair, Michael Corleone style. Like this dude really thinks he's mafioso. And who knows, he may be. Who knows, he may be. Damn, I Italian. No, but, I don't understand the kind of person who can have that on their conscience. Like, imagine that kind of a person to where you have 42,000 deaths, at least, directly on your tab. It was your call. You did it. No one else. You. How do you go to an award ceremony after that? I don't understand how you can block that and compartmentalize that, or the mental gymnastics required to make that palatable. And at the same time, I don't think I want to know. But, it takes a special kind of scumbag to push the dead bodies out of the way to accept his award. But, that's what we get. And another interesting thing about this article, another takeaway of this article for me, let me scroll down to make sure I have my factoids lined up correctly. I hate an inverted mouse. I don't understand that, but okay. The fact that twice over, and I alluded to this while I was reading it, the fact that twice over in this article we have to hear that Cuomo, he supported this woman. He supported this BIPOC attorney general. Don't miss that. I think we're going to see a lot more of that. I think that is the world they've created, and now they're going to have to live in it. There's no... it's almost like there's no telling them what they're doing wrong. They just have to see it for themselves at this point, and they have to hate it, and then they have to blame you for it somehow, and then they'll change it to what you said it should have been, but it's not your idea, it's theirs. You're stupid. You caused this. It's your fault. You didn't want this to work anyway. But anyway, look, the whole Cuomo thing, it's hard for me to get fired up about this because I know ultimately nothing will happen. And I'm sorry. I can't imagine being one of those family members where your family member was killed, literally killed because of Cuomo's idiotic decision. I can't imagine being one of those people, and my heart goes out to them for sure. But nothing's going to happen. We just saw a man steal an election, and nothing happened. We saw a man die in protective custody in prison, and nothing happened. We saw the President of the United States' son's laptop. Never mind the drug paraphernalia. Never mind all the other things that would get you or I put underneath of the prison. And nothing happened. We saw the current sitting president of the United States be tied to illegal, extra-legal business dealings with adversarial foreign powers. Nothing happened. So, it sucks for those people, for sure. Like I said, I can't imagine that. And maybe now you get a window into what goes through the minds of like those people back in the day, what's that guy's name? James Wilkes Booth or whatever, or John Wilkes Booth, whatever, the one that assassinated Lincoln. These people, it makes you wonder, like, what actually goes through their minds. Like, what pushed them over the... Because you read about it after the fact. You read the report of the establishment. So they tell you he's crazy. They tell you he was a nut. He was a loon. He beat his wife. He's an alcoholic. All these things that you can't verify. But you never hear... I remember back in the early 2000s. Maybe it's early to mid 2000s. But there was a guy who... flew a... Hold on, let me see if I can pull this up. There was a guy who flew a crop duster into a building. And let me see if I can find this. No, it's doing a bunch of weird stuff. Okay. There was a guy who flew a plane into a building, and I believe it was over student loans. This was a long time ago. And nothing ever came of it. Like nothing, the news said nothing. You notice the news does that a lot now? Where they won't even actually, back in the day, they would interview the guy who committed the crime. Hey, why'd you do it? What'd you say? You got anything to say? Yeah. They don't even do that now. And they say it's in the name of not romanticizing it. But you're reporting a story about it, and you're going to run stories about it for the next 12 hours. So let's not play stupid games. Obviously, you romanticize it. That's your job. Right? Like the news saying, well, we're not going to show this because we don't want to romanticize it. That's as inane, as a fire department. We're not going to shoot water in that building because we don't want to put the fire out. We're the fire department. Well, no, if you're the fire department, that's your job. And if you're the news, it's your job to sensationalize things. So it's interesting to me. You have these people, and yeah, that article is not coming up. I apologize. I'll have to try to find it. But anyway, and now when people commit these crimes, you never hear from them. And I think that's a problem. Why can't we know what is in these people's minds? Because it may allude to some deeper problem that we're not addressing. If we can hear what's in the mind of the man who attempted to kidnap Governor Whitmer, but you'll never hear from him. Not until the media has had their opportunity to imprint the image of him they want you to have. To the point where when you hear him talk about himself, he sounds like a conspiracy theorist. He sounds like a nut, but he's talking about himself. How could he be the nut? I don't know, man. It's very interesting. It appears to me, it makes sense, appeals to me, that if we were in a room, you and I are in a room, there's another guy sitting at away from us. And you can't interact with him directly. He just kind of, you don't interact with him directly. He's just kind of looking at you. He's just kind of shivering. He's not really responsive to either one of us. But I keep telling you that he is a psycho. And the reason why he's over there shaking is because he eats people. And he's got these mental, he's a nut. He's a complete nut. Don't make eye contact with him. He's crazy. He'll eat you. And that's the end of it. Well, the more you see his behavior, and me being the only narrative that you hear about him, at a certain point, you will believe that, if not altogether immediately. Why? Because you have nothing else. There's no other explanation for his behavior. But the easy way to dispel that horseshit is to go over and talk to the man himself. The easiest way to dispel that is to have a direct conversation with that person where you say, hey, man, why are you sitting over there shivering like that? And he can go, oh, because it's cold. I'm sitting right underneath of the air conditioning vent. Huh. Yeah, that makes sense. So, man, I know it was supposed to be about Cuomo, but we're kind of talking about him in a roundabout way. He's, this whole thing, this whole notion that he's going to see any kind of justice I'm sorry, it's just not going to happen. I would be remiss to even think for 1 second that this man sees 1 minute inside of a prison cell for what he did. And there again with him, we need to know what he was thinking. Here's an opportunity for the news to do it. Go over to that man in that corner, Governor Cuomo, and ask him why he did what he did. Let's find out. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that is the show for you today. I would like to thank everybody who's been hanging out with me. Thank you, everybody over there on Rumble. And yes, things have been a little tumultuous, but don't worry. I am working on some things. Like I said, there's some talks going on behind the scenes here about kind of switching up our format a little bit. Because like I said, the news is just it's so ho-hum that it's not even fun to talk about, really. It isn't. So we need to move in a different direction, and that's what we'll do. And that's not to say we'll never touch on the news. We will when it suits us. But for the most part, I think we can move on to other things to kind of get us through these Joe Biden years. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in today. I will see you all tomorrow. So until then, ladies and gents, peace.